Hey y'all, hey, and welcome to Tootie Talk Sense. And I am Tootie. So, what I'm gonna try to do in this episode is because I never even went over episode 15. So, I'm gonna try to go over episode 15 and 16. Then I want to go and do a separate episode with the speak on it, Candy. Candy speak on it with Courtney because baby, that whole thing was a mess. Cause y'all know people were saying at first she had put the speak on it that I'm assuming that was the well, it don't really seem like number to speak on it was live, but they had uploaded to speak on it with Courtney. Then they deleted it. Then they re-uploaded it, and people were saying that it was very cringe worthy. Now, so right now I'm gonna just go through episode 15 and 16. So how was y'all day today? Because of course I've been to work like usual. I didn't just finish cooking. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I ain't cook. I reheated the leftovers from yesterday. I made the stuffed chicken breast. It's stuffed and spinach and mashed potatoes. So that's what I just finished eating. And of course, the kids weren't gonna eat it, so I had to make them some separate hot dogs. I said I need to be like my mama and be like, if you don't eat, you're gonna go hungry, okay? But that's what my day was like. I don't even talk about what didn't happen at work. We ain't gonna even go there. So, how was y'all day? And did y'all cook dinner already? Because it is 6 o'clock. I had scheduled this for 7, but I'm like, that's gonna be a little too close to bedtime for me trying to do both. So let me push it up to 6 while these kids are quiet. One is out. She finished her homework. So she went over to the neighbors, and then my other one, she's out there with my husband, her daddy. They out there watching the Disney Ahsoka new episode had dropped I think today, but that's what they doing. So I'm like, I think I got a good hour. So let me stop, talking and go ahead and try to get into it, right? Y'all go ahead, like the video. Let me open up this comment so I can see when y'all comment and what y'all saying. So go ahead, like the video. Also, I forgot to put in there for the people who want to join. Here is the link if you want to go ahead and join the live stream and let's talk about it. Okay, so let's start off with episode 15. So these are my notes that I made. So it's been over 2 weeks. So I'm gonna just go and read from my notes because I don't remember what happened like yesterday, let alone 2 weeks. Okay, and I also further was coming along. Like tonight, I'm gonna try to do like I said, I'm gonna try to do the Candy speak on it that the interview she did with Courtney. I also want to touch on the Steve Harvey, and Marjorie. Now Essie Berry, y'all go to her page. She has all the previous interviews that she had with that she did telling her story of her interactions with Steve and everything that he did to his ex-wife, Mary, and those kids. So now that this thing is coming out with Marjorie and this bodyguard, I'm like, I don't know if she's been in winter with a bodyguard because Marjorie and her past don't show her messing with a bodyguard. But the streets are talking, y'all. But let's get into this interview before I get distracted, okay? Not this interview. Let's get into this episode. So this is episode 15. And it starts off with Sonya going to the doctors. I mean, Sonya is only 5 weeks pregnant. And she's considered a geriatric pregnancy. So Sonya is 35. So anytime you're 35 and older, it's considered a geriatric pregnancy. So at 10 weeks, you can determine the sex. And then she had let her younger son know about the pregnancy, and I was like, well, that's kind of early to let somebody that young know. But that's what she had decided on. I ain't saying nothing about how people raise what they do in their family, what they do with their kids. It may be different. But geriatrics is a high risk anyway. Once you become a certain age, the risk go up for having kids. But she was only 5 weeks when she let her youngest son know. Now I'm watching episode 16, so we know that things didn't turn out great. But this is just what I wrote when watching episode 15. So Todd and Candy is filming at the house, and that saves 6 figures. And I didn't see the problem with them filming at the house because Tyler Perry did it in the beginning. So I'm like, what's the problem with them filming at the house? And they got a beautiful house. Well, I paid for to go rent out a mansion if you got a mansion. Yeah, film it right here. And I didn't watch some of y'all. It's on Peacock. The past. It's on Peacock. I didn't watch like the first 10, 15 minutes. And I was like, is this actually from Drew's life? Because they say some parts in there like, oh, he's a consultant, and everybody called Rafa consultant. And it was something else that they said up in there. Well, I was like, this is getting a little like close to home. I know he was supposed to wrote this before, like 2 years or something before, but it sounds very familiar. It sounds like the whole season 15 to me. But so Drew comes in, and they filming at the house. Drew says, "Oh yeah, the Drew, the pretend naive. I think I'm gonna need guidance with this sex scene because I just don't know what I'm gonna do." That's that's how she talking to Candy, and I want to say that was Manetta that was there. And so Candy was like, "Don't worry about it. We got you. We got an intimacy coach for anybody." For questions to be answered, for how to portray intimacy scenes, and so everybody could be comfortable. So Drew said she have had a makeout scene, um, and intimate scenes with only men's before. So this one with a female is going to be new. And Courtney using then they go to Courtney saying she don't use the B word and referring to another female, but it's a video of her saying the B word. But it's unclear if she was talking to Drew or talking to Sonya at this point. Man, you this episode 15. And the after show, Marlo and Sonya and Sheree is talking about the movie. And Marlo say, "Yeah, I hear Candy pay, but it's just a little bit." And her and Sheree talking, and they laughing about it. But I'm like, isn't Sheree reputation that she don't pay at all? So just a little bit is better than nothing, right? Is the way I see it. So they talk about Sheree and her sippancy. She a grandma, and so she was introducing her granddaughter out to the world. Put on a whole event to introduce her granddaughter to her friends. So the guests were supposed to wear different shades of nude, and she was going to wear I don't even know what color that was, like a pink color. The family was going to wear that. So then it was they record Drew's sex scene with the girl. Then they go to Marlo foster care event. And in her event, she honored people who made it out the foster system. And they said Marlo was the foster kid for Marlo was a foster kid in 5 different families. I think she said she had moved to 5 different families. Now in the foster system, I didn't work in a foster system. My mom had 7 girls, and she ended up having going into the foster system and having 2 more foster kids. And I'm looking like how many kids do you need? Okay. But she loved kids. That's what she did. So when they it's very difficult for foster kids to navigate in that system. First of all, it's you besides the kid, because sometimes they're trouble kids. It's behavior problem. It's sometimes the foster kid then came from a home where they're even abused. Some of them have been sold, even though they're young. The mom or dad on out there on that stuff been sold and around, and they're young age and they're very sexualized, and some of them have learning disabilities. Some of them have health problems. Some of them very severe health problems. But some of these foster parents are also in a system just for the money, and they're not necessarily in it because they want to provide stability or love to a child. So that child also, with dealing with whatever it is that put them in a foster system, have to come to a home of people who sometimes don't want them, who they know they just there for the money, who don't treat them right. So that's a very difficult thing to navigate through. And finding out that Marlo was in 5 different foster homes, I said that would make sense, because typically when people grow up with nothing, they value it seems like Marlo place a lot of value on material things, name brands, and things of that nature. But I feel like that would make sense if you grew up not having, and then it's like, okay, well, I didn't have, so now I'm gonna show everybody that I made it by these brands that I wear. So that was just something. I would like to think that was a very good charity for her to be involved in. And then also she's probably not a foster care parent. She just took her nephews in, because I didn't hear them say she was a foster parent to her nephews. I'm assuming that she just took them in since they're her sister kids. But I said that was very good to show Marlo in that light. Now, because usually all they talk about is Marlo background, her record, and for I think I think she cut up that lady face. So I said that was very good for them to show them and show Marlo in that light to see a different view of Marlo. So then it's Sheree doing a tasting for her sipping seed, and she didn't make it to. It was like Sheree, Marlo was like, "Oh, where's Sheree?" They was like, "Oh, she's doing the tasting for the sipping seed, and she's not gonna make it." And Marlo get very emotional about Sheree not coming, but Courtney and Sonya was there, and the ribbon for foster care is blue. I didn't know that, so I put that in there. But Scott Lee showed up for her event, and then at the very end of the event, Sheree popped up at the event, and I'm like, wait, are they making Sheree the new star of the show? Because the Marlo's just so happy that Sheree is coming, and this event is about the foster kids and things. But I guess showing support for somebody who grew up without support, the support of the friends is very important. But I'm like, I don't know why that was. I guess it seemed like they should have done Marlo and Sheree to be the new stars, but that's just my point. So, so the party Sheree they end up saying is the Sheree sipping seat end up being around. They said $200 a plate. I'm like, what the $200 a plate, baby? I could have made you some things. I could have cooked some things. Okay, $200 a plate. I'm gonna start charging in my family, y'all. Y'all see every time I get on here, I'm talking about what I just been cooked. I'm gonna start charging them 200 because these plates ain't free over here. If the Sheree can get about $200 a plate, I can get a good $50 a plate. I'm finna charge everybody, even the baby. You got to come and pay with milk or something. Get me in here cooking for free, and I could get $200 a plate. Okay, yeah. Drew Drew said, Drew sat down with her. I don't even know who they said. She sat down with somebody, y'all, and she was telling them she's not gonna be doing any more little time movies. She's gonna do if it's not Lifetime or better, then she's not doing it. Then I went and looked up who was Drew because I'm like I don't really remember Drew like that as far as in acting and things. Why is this? I think this thing then pause, y'all, but I'm gonna just keep going anyway. Hopefully, the signal will kick back in. But according to Wikipedia, Drew Sidora is an American actress and singer. She is known for her recurring role as Chantel in the Disney Channel original series That's So Raven. I was like, what? Drew was in That's So Raven? Now I'm gonna have to go back and watch it because I didn't even know Drew was in That's So Raven. Then it says, as Lucy in the 2006 film Step Up, as Tiana Watkins in the VH1 TLC biography film Crazy Sexy Cool, the TLC story in the BET comedy drama television series The Game. She joined the Bravo reality show The Real Housewife of Atlanta in 2020. So let's get to the sipping seat. And Kenya asks to talk to Martell at the sipping seat. Martell gives an apology to Kenya, and Kenya gives an apology, but it's one of those "I'm sorry if you felt offended" apology, not like "I'm sorry what I did." I'm sorry you felt offended. So in the after show, Sheree says Martell pulls Kenya to the side, but Kenya is actually the one who pulled Martell to the side to initiate the conversation. Then y'all, Bob and his new daughter. I think everybody's waiting to get to the part of Bob and his new daughter because that was really the part of the show. Okay, so Bob said the kids knew about the his daughter, and when I say daughter, she's a grown woman. But because when she come and take pictures, everybody like, who is that lady taking pictures with Bob? Is that's his girlfriend? She kind of young to be with Bob, and that's his old daughter. But Bob said the kids knew, but Sheree didn't. So I'm like, baby, my daughter would never. I said, did Sheree really care? Cause I wouldn't. I wouldn't. This baby before me, me and this man is divorced, and I'm like, you see, that's why I divorced because I knew your ass was a lie. You gonna always be a doggone lie. That would just make me feel justified in the divorce. Cause look at you, didn't hit this all this doggone years. I would be mad if I'm still his wife. But I'm divorced. Said, look at God. I would have been over there. Look at God. Won't he do it? So the child seems to be, the daughter seems to be before Sheree kids. I said, but still, my daughter would have told me, okay, because they saying that the girl been around Sheree kids and Sheree don't know. I said, oh, my daughter would have told me. I said, Anthony being there and Drew. Okay, so there was this guy named Anthony who used to be, I want to say, Drew assistant, and he was there, and him and Drew had a disagreement, and Drew is saying that he assaulted her, and he threw a police. He threw a shoe, and the police was called. So Sheree saying, "Oh, it's not a big deal." Sheree saying, "Oh no, that what happened between them wasn't no big deal." But I'm like, "But was the police called?" Because it's most people don't call the police if it really wasn't no big deal, right? But I agree with Drew when she said in the after show that it's all about the men for Sheree because of her reactions and asking Kenya to apologize because in the previously when Kenya pulled Martell over and Martell ended up apologizing. Sheree was just like, but wait a minute, this conversation ain't over because Kenya, you need to apologize to this man. So I said, I agree that with Sheree seems like she's one. Y'all know, y'all have that girlfriend, and always since you know her, like I had one since I knew her since high school, that always been D crazy. It got to be where the D gonna be at. Where we going? Is D gonna be there? Whether she in a relationship or not. And if she's in a relationship, it's about, oh well, no, I have to figure out what time we're gonna be. I'm gonna stay for a couple minutes so I can get back to D. Okay. So we all know that girl who's just D crazy. It rules her whole life. And anytime she get a man, you don't see her. That's what Sheree seems like. Like it's just all about that guy. Whatever he say, she like, he telling the truth. I believe him. Yeah, my baby's at that play with her daddy. I hear all that story, but like, what is they playing? What are they doing? Because they is playing loud, okay? I have to get that call later. But and so she asked Kenya to apologize, and then she was dating a guy in jail, and she was ignoring all the warning signs. She seemed like one of them girls where she D crazy. That's why I ended up putting on there. She seemed like she D crazy. Now, when asked about Anthony, Drew said, "I know he has a marketing degree, and he set up the Martell and Sheree dating situation." So reading it between the lines, she's saying like that shit ain't real, y'all. It ain't real. This is a whole storyline because he got a marketing degree. He was like, Sheree, you know what? I know Martell. He over on this other show. Want to be on this other show, another reality show. He just went through a divorce. Would it be good if you and him get together? That's what I feel like Drew meant when she was like, all I could tell you, because now Anthony and Sheree is friends. So Drew, like, all I can tell you, see, got a marketing degree. Okay. Now Sheree says in the after show, her and Anthony made up last year because when Anthony was Drew's assistant, he was on there and they show clips on there of him talking about Sheree and how he didn't pay her. And then Drew like, oh, so how you friends with him now after he did assault me? Now you all of a sudden y'all buddy when y'all wasn't even messing with each other because of everything he said about you. So in the after show, Sheree says that her and Anthony made up last year, and he apologized. He didn't say the things that Drew said he said, and she was like, and we all know Drew lies. And I'm like, well, I only been watching this season, but there was a clip of him saying Sheree didn't pay him. So she may lie, but she ain't lie about that. She says that Drew assistant has invited Anthony to events since that happened. So Drew can't be that mad or that upset because her own assistant then invited him to events after that didn't happen. Now Anthony in the show, when Candy asked him about the Drew situation, and he gets to talking about her marriage and riding her, but what the hell they got to do with your problem with Drew? Because your problem with Drew wasn't about her marriage. So I'm like, what this Anthony person talking about? Because it got nothing to do with nothing. Now you just want some TV time, and it's extra. And he was extra as hell trying to read her for no reason. So in the after show, Candy said Sheree should have given a heads up so Drew could bring her husband to feel protected. And Drew said, I did invite him, but he didn't come. And I'm like, okay. Did y'all catch that? So Sheree says she's thinking about Drew. It was about she said she ain't thinking about Drew. It was about Mecca, her granddaughter. And Milo agreed, and the rest of the world was like, girl, please. Well, none about that sipping see about Mecca. That was all about Sheree, okay? In the after show, they asked Kenya, did you know Sheree kids knew about the daughter? And she said it would hurt me to my core if my kids knew and kept it from me. And she would be upset if Brooklyn knew and kept it from me because her loyalty should be to her mom. And like I said, and I was like, you better say it because Sheree had 3 kids by him, and they didn't tell him. Like none of the kids told you. Not one of them is more closer to you. Well, they're gonna be mom. Let me tell you, because that's how my baby. She 20. If your baby be like mom, what girl? Let me tell you. And I'm like, hmm. In the after show, Sheree says her daughter said that she don't remember her father bringing her around. She said last year about finding out about the daughter, but in the show, the girl actually said she's been around a sibling. Ralph come and talk to Drew about the movie, and all he wanted to talk about is her sex scene. Drew says in after show she had a movie with Christian Keys, and Ralph was on the set. He made it awkward, and the directors like redirected him to another area. So I was like, let me see if I can pull it up, y'all. I said, let me see who is this Christian Keys, because I do not know him by name that Drew is talking about. And when I pulled them up, I said, oh, that's why. Okay. So he had a scene with him, an intimate scene with Christian Keys. I said, yeah, I know Ralph would be jealous. They had to pull him off over to the side, y'all. Once she had that scene when she came and she was feeling with Christian Keys now. Now, y'all, let's get into this episode 16, okay? I'm trying to go through it. So episode 16 start off with them asking Drew what she's been holding back this season. And then it goes to Kenya doing Brooklyn hair. It goes to Candy and Todd talking about editing the movies and how many invites they're going to the premiere. And it goes to Sonya going in to see Dr. Jackie and Marlo. And Marlo comes because Ross couldn't be there. So Marlo ends up coming in to be there for Ross. She's supposed to be a recording girl, and she didn't even knew how to use the phone. Don't know if she recorded or nothing. But Dr. Jackie tells her she was only 5 weeks, that she shouldn't involve her son unless she get at least to 12 weeks. So Ralph seemed like so Ralph seems like a hater. He comes in a room and Drew says, how you doing? Seems like I haven't seen her talk to you all week. Actually, I haven't seen or talked to you. And Ralph said, yeah, you've been busy. He was like, yeah. She's like, it seemed like I haven't seen or talked to you all week. Then she's like, yeah, I really haven't seen or talked to you all week. And he like, yeah, you've been busy. I was like, oh, look at that little hater. I'm like, to me, that sounded like a little jab. Like, you haven't because you've been busy. That ain't my fault. That's what it sounded like. So she asks, is everything good? He said, it's been working. It's been a grand while you out here shooting your movie. He said, why you out here shooting your movie? I've been here in the dirt. That's not what he said, but that's what he was like. While you out here shooting your movie, it's been a grand while you out here shooting your movie. I'm like, oh, that sounds like some resentment. Resentment much, Ralph? So Drew asks, do you know how much work it is? He said, you doing a sex scene? I said, he might as well say, girl, bye, after you said that. She said, you know how much work it is, but you doing a sex scene? Girl, bye. That's what I heard. Girl, bye. So she explains the schedule, then say he moved out the room. He said it's because of her schedule that he moved out the room. I said, I would give it to him because waking up and not being able to go back to sleep, because I'm like that. Because he was like, oh, she come in at like late from the shoot, like 2 something in the morning. And he wake up and not go back to sleep. I said, that's one thing I will give Ralph, because I'm like that. Once I wake up, I don't care what time it is. If it's 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, you didn't woke me up out my sleep. Now I'm up. I'm like, oh God, now I can't go back to sleep. Now I'm up. So I said, that's one thing I will give him. I don't too much care for his attitude, but I give him that. And When Drew asks, so when are you moving back in? He says, I don't know when he can get some stability. So that's like, when you finish that movie. And I'm like, what? Wait, if she just said her schedule, if you just said it's her schedule, now then you say as soon as this movie wrap up, so my sleep is not disturbed. But it seems as if it's as soon as you start doing back, because at first he said, oh, it's the schedule. Then she, when you moving it back, oh, when I can get some stability. But it seems as if you start back doing, it seems as if that is a punishment. I'm moving out the room. This is a punishment. So as soon as you start back doing what I want you to do, when I want you to do it, then I'll let you off punishment and I can come back in the room. Just like I put your sister on punishment for saying that I was controlling. I kept her butt from this house this many years. That's the same thing I'm doing with this sleeping arrangement. That's how I took it. Y'all let me know what y'all felt about it. Also, don't forget to go ahead and like the video while y'all in here. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and share it out. Share it out to all the social medias. So he said, I said, if he ain't Mr. on Color Purple pulling them sisters apart with that move that he did with keeping them away from each other, me and you will never part. I never let go. That's how I felt what he did when keeping Allison away from Drew, because Allison had an opinion about the way he treated Drew. So she showed Ralph a video of Courtney, and he says, well, all the other girls call you bitch. So, because she tell Ralph about his cousin. Yeah, I can't wait to get to that Courtney video and the cousin. But his cousin called her a bitch. And he was like, and she showed a video of what Courtney had said. And so he was like, what's the big deal? All your other friends call you a bitch. So, bitch, what's the problem? It's the way I heard it, but what he said in actuality was, all your other friends call you a bitch. So what's the big deal? So he says, Kenya, Marlo, Candy, all called you a bitch. So what you want me to do? Rah rah rah! Don't call my wife that. I'm like, ain't you the same man who just a couple of episodes ago was at Marlo because Drew said she mentioned your name open when they was in Portugal, and you end up texting Marlo? So you confronted a woman then. So I'm like, oh, okay. So it's cool for you to confront a woman about what Drew said when the woman said something about you. But it's not cool for you to confront a woman when it's something about your wife. Okay, I got it. So Drew leaves the room, right? And she goes downstairs where her sister's at. And she was slow though. Okay, so Drew walks in the kitchen with her sister, and her sister asks what's wrong. Drew says nothing, but Raph come down and asks Drew, you good? So Drew asks her sister, you remember Courtney lying ass? She said she didn't say bitch. Well, here's a video of her bitch ass saying bitch. That ain't what she said. That's just my translation of what she said to her sister, right? So Allison said, yes. She looked me right in my face and she said it never happened. Then Ralph said, well, you called the Drew a bitch before. I was like, oh, no, he didn't. No, you didn't fit to bring up some past sibling things and make excuse for this thing that your cousin just did. So, oh, don't you hate when people do that? I done told you something personal and you want to bring it up in an argument to win an argument. Baby. So Addison looked like, I noticed when he said that, Addison looked like, I know this bitch didn't. So Addison tell him, since your deflecting ass like to deflect, let's make it clear. If she called Drew a banana and Drew don't like to be called a banana as her husband, that's all that needs to be said. Now that wasn't her exact words. That's my translation, y'all. So Drew tells Addison, don't worry, I got this. And this here, this is why we don't want Allison around, because she's not afraid to hold him accountable. And I'm like, this made that interaction that Drew, Allison, and Ralph had. I said this made perfect sense why Ralph don't want Allison around, because Allison held him accountable, because he's saying, well, don't you call her bitch? And Allison like, dude, that's besides the point. Your wife is telling you she got a problem with, I don't care what she says she got a problem with. If somebody called her banana and she got a problem with, as her husband, you should respect the fact that she has a problem with that. And Ralph, like, don't worry about this. I got this. This is between me and my wife. And that's why he kept Allison Butt around, because he don't like that mirror being held up and somebody telling him he wrong. Then Allison, like, I was in here minding my black owned business, washing these dishes. She didn't say black owned, y'all. I like to throw stuff away. Washing these dishes, and y'all came in here putting me in y'all bull. So Drew leaves out and tells him he's embarrassed. Then Allison come and asks him what's wrong with him and goes upstairs after Drew. So Sheree in her car with her daughter, Tiara. And the daughter says she met the other daughter, the one from last episode. She's asking her about this daughter that her ex-husband brought around. So she was like, so you tell me about what's going on with the Bob. You have you met that girl before? So she was like, yeah, I met her. She said Dad brought her to the brought to his mom house. And that's what she pretty much leave it as. Yeah, the dad brought him to his mom house, and that's why I met her at before. So then they go to Brooklyn and Kenya. And Brooklyn is there with her granddad, which is Kenya's dad. And Brooklyn tells her granddad that she's shy and she wants her mom to sit next to her instead of her granddad. But she just met her granddad this year. And as far as I'm remembering, Kenya is just now forming a relationship with her father, maybe a couple years ago. So Scott, and then the next scene is Scott Lee meets Marlo at her store and agrees to go to the Kenya party, which is the rap party. Since they finished with the movie, they had a rap party. So Drew and Ralph meet with Dr. Dr. Ken. Baby, Dr. Ken face while Ralph is over there talking. He's just like, he just, he looking like his whole face is looking like he want to say, are you serious? So they talk about how Ralph moved out the bedroom and Drew feels alone, but Ralph says he feel liberated. So Drew said the kids notice Ralph is not sleeping in the bedroom, and Ralph like, girl, you lying with your lying. You always lying. Why you always lying? So Drew had to pull out the phone to show the text to be like, well, I'm not lying. Look. And so then Dr. Ken tries to talk to Ralph, and Ralph interrupts them like, I know we paying you for this hour or whatever, but let me say what I got to say because it's more important than what you, the professional, have to say. So Ralph, that ain't what he said. That's my interpretation again, y'all. But, let me put up my allegedly banner, y'all. Where's my allegedly? Okay. Allegedly, y'all. I'm interpreting face looks and things like that. So I said Ralph sound like a guy. So then Ken try to talk. Ralph interrupt and talks about how this is helping Drew and him because of Drew like the room hot and he like the room cold. I said, to me, listening to Ralph and his whole little speech he was giving about that room situation, I said, if Ralph sounded like a guy who have had a mistress for a long time. Now I'm not telling y'all this is what Ralph doing. This is the vibe I'm getting from him. He sounds like somebody who had a mistress for a long time, and he loves the mistress. Things then got serious and everything with them. He loves the mistress, but the girl is giving him an ultimatum. He sounds like one of the ones who didn't got an ultimatum for the mistress, and he's choosing instead of leaving the wife. He say stuff like, I have to be there for the kids, and we don't even sleep in the same room no more. So you don't even have to worry about it. Just give me some time to get this divorce together. I need to make sure that all the T's are crossed before I go through with it. Like he's just waiting to get some dirt on his wife or whatever, and to so she can't take half of his stuff. Right? I said that's the. Ref says. Y'all ain't got my papers mixed up. Okay. Okay, I have to come back. So Ralph says Ralph's like, your best friend sleeps separately from her husband, and they've been married longer than we have. And Drew was like, and they filed for a divorce. That smirk that Ralph gave when she said, and they filed for a divorce. I said, this mother is sneaky. He got something going on. So, uh, when Courtney was on speak on it, and I'm finna do that video right after this one. So when Courtney was on speak on it and said that Ralph been getting things together for a divorce, I'm like, she can't be telling her the truth because they're sleeping in a separate room, and then this when Drew said, yeah, they sleep in separate rooms, but they filed for a divorce, and he like, everybody filed for a divorce. I'm like, who says? Yeah. So then they go to the rap party. So all the ladies look good. I loved Kenya catsuit, but everybody looked good. So then Courtney tries to hug Addison, and Addison like, I don't do fake and phony. That ain't what she said, but that's the look, and she gave it a not today type of thing. So then they go to the side to talk, and she says, when I asked if you called my sister bitch, you looked me right in my eye. Addison was taking it personal. You looked me right in my face and says you didn't do it. and and you lied. And Drew comes over and Courtney asks Allison and then Courtney's like, well, Addison, have you ever called her a bitch? And Allison picks right up on it. I'm like, this is why Ralph didn't have Allison around. Because Allison is on it, baby. She's like, that's some shit Ralph done told you, baby. Because how would you know you're a new cousin, this newly found cousin who's just coming around, and you got the nerve to ask me, have I called my sister a bitch before? Man, you in the last episode, in the last scene that was Ralph, Drew, and Allison in the kitchen, that's the exact thing Ralph said. Well, you didn't call her a bitch before, so what's the big deal? So now they over there talking to Courtney, and Courtney gonna say, well, have you called your sister a bitch before? I would a bitch don't. Y'all. But as I see why Ralph didn't want Allison around. She's too smart. So and Allison say, wait, don't come at me. That's because you didn't talk to Ralph. Don't come talk to me about somehow I called my sister bitch before. So Ty's coming, Ty, the one that Drew's allegedly having this relationship with, y'all. Hell. Oh, my battery is running off. I've been talking too much. I didn't have it on charge. I'm supposed to be finished. I'm trying to get through it, yeah. So Ty come in, right? Drew alleged girlfriend. And they do that one arm little separate hug. So Drew performs, and then they go and give summaries of everything that didn't happen, because that's the season finale. They give a summary of everybody life or what didn't happen for the wrap up. So then they fast forward to Drew and Ralph divorce. And they go, yeah. Ralph had after this wrap up, Ralph have a birthday party. No, what they said is Candy had a play in New York, and they was out going out for the play, but he ended up celebrating his birthday because it was his birthday too. Now he has this birthday party, and Ty, Drew alleged girlfriend, is at this birthday party. So then it comes out with the Ty and Drew hooking up. So then the sad part comes out with Sonya, and I know I'm mispronouncing her name, y'all. But the more you watch, the more you see. I be messing up everybody's name. So Sonya has a miscarriage, and that's why I was just saying in the last one that she had to tell her son, and she was saying that how devastated her son was, but the good news is that she's pregnant now, and the pictures that they show seems like she's farther along, and hopefully everything will go well. And so Drew is in there to do her wrap-up interview, right? And this is where I think the day before it went public about her divorce. And so I forget who came in first, because somebody else was wrapping up, and they came and talked to Drew, see if she was all right. Then I know Sheree is talking to Drew came and check on Drew, see if she was all right. And Drew was saying that her dad, is sick and going through with her dad. And Sheree said that her dad had just passed 2 days ago. And I was like, oh, that's so sad. I didn't been there, mom and father is fast. And I was like, and that's a trying time. And that's nice for everybody. Even with Drew with all her lies and stuff, that all the ladies seem to have extended a hand to be there for her in this divorce. So they interviewed Drew and Ralph, and they asked, "Can y'all talk about it?" And it's funny because both of them like, "Wait, let me call my lawyer," and both of them come back like they go, "Hey, I'm trying to see if we can talk about it." Both of them come back like, "Nah, we can't talk about it." So they said he came back to the room after the movie wrap up. And so they asked Ralph if he ever came back to the room after the movie wrap up. Ralph said he did. Drew said he never came back to the room. So while Drew is there doing the interview, this wrap up interview that she's doing, she's also, that's when the news dropped that went viral about her and Ty. So you actually see her and she's like, "Oh, I'm getting all these messages." And so then they tell her about what's on the internet. And she's like, "Is it everywhere?" And so they asked her, they asked Ralph about it, and Ralph said that, they just have a friendship, and Drew really didn't answer. She said that that's a story that Ralph had put out. Now, yeah. Whew. Okay. I'm finna leave out, come right back in, because I want to do a separate one with this Courtney. This speak on it with Courtney, baby. Because when I tell you that I'm like, something ain't right with this Courtney and Ralph relationship. And what Drew mess up as, and what liars mess up. When you're a liar, even when you telling the truth, people believe you lying. You can never know when that person is telling the truth. And Drew little line, the girl who called Wolf, the girl who cried wolf, but out here, and now that people need to believe you, everybody like, you also said you didn't kiss the girl after saying you kissed the girl. So, I said Ralph he's probably gonna have the upper hand in this divorce because you've been looked like to be a liar. But let me end this and create another one. Come right on with this speak on it with Courtney, because I said I don't know if it's just me, but y'all follow the next video and also put it here. I'm sorry, I didn't have the comments up, but also put it here if y'all think that Ralph and Drew, I don't think they're real cousins. I think it's a possibility that that Ralph and Courtney, that could be his whole mistress. This interview that she did with Candy, she sounded more like a mistress than a cousin to me. I'm finna go through and break it down. I'm finna do it in my next video. I'll be back in about 5 minutes. Hey, girl. Hey, Marita. Hey, Daphne. How y'all doing? That's exactly what I said. I was like, I'm gonna come back about 5 minutes to break that whole little Courtney speak on it, because I was like, I don't think Courtney is his cousin. I think that's his mistress, the little side chick. Because even when she tried to say the connections on how they connected, there ain't no family. Then she say by marriage. Who? What marriage? Because everybody got social media and the internet, and people could go look that up. This is a whole mess. And then she spent the whole time talking about Drew. And then she said in there, yeah, I'm getting to talk about it too much. Okay, I'm gonna say this one thing and then I'm gonna leave it alone because I said the audacity. She said, I know Ralph more in these last 6 months. She either said 6 or 8 months. Then his wife had known him throughout their whole relationship. I said, oh my God. That Drew, she say she from the shop, but she don't act like it, because I don't promote violence on this channel, y'all. So I'll be back. Like the video, share it. I'll be back in 5 minutes to talk about Drew, to talk about Courtney, y'all. All right, I'll catch y'all later. Bye.